I'm so upset with myself today. I had a packet of Nerds I was meant to bring home from work, and I was going to be eating them. I spent all morning looking for them, and I'm pretty sure I left them on my desk.
We're the only nerds you need.
Welcome to Multiple Nerdgasm with your hosts, Matt, Luke, and Dan. Multiple Nerdgasm, your guide to all things nerdy.
Well, that'll be a nice surprise for you on Monday, won't it?
Yeah, but that's Monday, Luke. I don't care about Monday, Luke. I care about Saturday, Luke.
Delayed gratification is not something you're keen on.
No. I want it now.
It's something
but I do have to go to work.
Keen on is a cold beer.
Yes.
And
so I actually found this out because I drank warm beer. Well, not warm beer, but you know how it's not in London?
Yes.
Sure. Yeah.
That's a
It's
thing.
not nice.
Well,
Yeah,
it
it is.
depends on the beer as well.
Maybe it was the beer.
Yeah.
You can drink a
You get a
warm
nice ale.
stout. Yeah, you've got
Yeah.
to know what to drink warm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would drink a warm IPA.
Oh,
That'd,
oh,
yeah, that just wouldn't.
no.
why
No, in fact,
I've got a
I
fridge.
assume IPA was invented because the Londoners who were drinking warm beer in frigid London went to India and went, we need a cold beer for here.
Yeah, sure.
Well, I went out and I brought an Xbox fridge so I can keep beer in my room so it's always cold.
You bought two Xbox.
Yeah, I was about to say, this
fridges,
is
right?
not the first Xbox fridge you've
One
bought.
works.
Yeah.
The working one sits on top of the broken one.
Right, but you
Well,
told
it
us
still looks cool.
before we started recording, you mentioned something, right? That I would like you to expand upon. You said it's not a real fridge. Can you
It's not a
expand on
real
that?
fridge.
Okay.
It's more of a... It's a cooler with a cold fan in it.
Okay, right.
Okay.
So, what
What's cooler about
what
it?
would have been the issue with them just making it be an actual fridge?
Money.
Okay,
When you bought it, right, did you know it wasn't a fridge?
Not really, no.
No.
'Cause
I
after
didn't.
it shipped,
because
I
they
started reading-
certainly marketed it as a fridge.
I mean, I didn't buy one, but I considered it, and I thought it was a fridge.
I really thought it was a fridge as well, but when I actually got it, I started reading articles where it's not. Yeah, it's not. They say like don't use it all the time.
Okay,
What does that
articles or the
What
instructions.
do you mean don't
for
use it all the time?
No, I read articles that explain the instructions to me, and in the instructions it says like don't use it all the time. It's more of a gimmicky thing. It's don't use this. Don't rely on this to be your fridge to store your food. Essentially,
Don't use it all the time. Like, when is it okay to use it? Under what circumstances?
Don't store food in it. I can understand, but perhaps it doesn't get cold
Sure.
enough that you can, put a bunch of prawns in there and be confident that you're not going to get sick 3 days later. But what are we talking about in terms of you pop a Red Bull in there for a late night gaming session? How cold is that going
so
to be?
what you better don't put something in warm and expect it to turn cold.
Don't expect something to turn cold.
It will, but it'll take time. They actually say, like in the instructions, like when you're putting something in, put it in so it's cold. So
So what you've got is a thermos.
So I was going
Yes.
to say, put it in the fridge first.
Yeah,
and then put it
put
in,
it
your,
in
your
an
fridge that's
actual
not a
fridge.
fridge second.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
you
I
put it
guess
in
he's
the
right.
thermos.
It's a
It-
cooler.
it's a cooler with it has a fan. It does have a fan that blows cold air into it.
Well,
But
hang on. When you say it blows cold air,
Mm.
it makes the air cold, or it just blows air, right?
I think it's cold. It
Blows
is
the
making it
existing
cooler.
air.
Okay. Because I was
But-
going to say, like, if I was still in Sydney and it was the middle of summer, there's no cold air going into a fan anywhere near me.
Mm.
No, but look, why this is cool, I am probably going to go buy an actual bar fridge for my room.
Two
One that
two
can
novelty
Put that on
fridges
top
later,
of the other two.
he's realised, that he does actually
Well, you're
want
also
a
going to
fridge.
look like the novelty fridge is like $150
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
or $200 in Australia. An actual bar fridge, you're looking at $4 or $5
Yeah.
for something small and decent. So
And it's, you say small, but it's going to be much bigger than the.
It's
fake
going to be twice
Xbox
the size
you
of
have.
this.
Yeah.
yes, like you can't fit much in it at all. It's also designed for American cans.
Mm.
Oh, like the pint cans? You mean the
Yeah.
tall ones?
No,
Yeah.
no. The three
Means like Red Bull
335.
Oh. All right. Okay. I thought you meant American beer cans, because our beer cans are fucking huge.
No. To actually get beer cans in this one, I've had to take shelves out.
Is that,
Oh.
Matt, what they call a 40? A 40 ounce?
No.
Is that a can, or is that something else?
No. That's like a bottle. That's like
Okay.
a.
Is that like
that's
a long neck?
So
It's
I've
40
never,
ounce
I've actually
malt
never had
liquor.
that. Yeah, I keep meaning to
Remember?
try that. I got to get that. I don't even know where you get that.
Because
Like,
remember, when we
ask
were
some
there, when we
teens,
were there in
Matt.
2014,
Yeah.
when we were there in 2014, that was part of our goal to get, and then we just couldn't work
Yeah,
out
I
where to get it
forgot.
from.
I mean, there's a liquor store up the road. I guess I'm gonna feel weird going in and go, oh, where's your 40s of malt liquor? You're like,
I
why are you
guarantee
talking like that?
you will
You
not-
are 40-something years old.
Yeah.
Why are you speaking that way?
You would not be the. You remember that Mitchell and Webb sketch where he's like, maybe I'll try this one? He's like, yes, sir. That is the most amount of alcohol for the least amount of money.
Yeah, that's
Well,
right.
even the worst part, it's not just asking where it is. You got to ask what it is because
Yeah.
like you don't want to just it's in that direction.
Right, I'll
You
give
still don't know
myself
what
some
you're looking
homework.
for.
I will
Yeah.
give myself some
Suppose if
homework.
he
I will
just goes
try
up
and
to the
get-
counter and says, just give me a 40, mate. The guy's going to be like,
Okay.
of what?
Here's a brown paper bag. Away you
Yeah.
go.
a 40
Do they
Well, it's
do
not a
brown
pick
paper
and
bags in
mix.
America?
liquor for the podcast, and I will drink that
Excellent.
on the show next week.
Well, no, like with a long neck in Australia, when you buy a long neck at the bottle-o,
Yeah,
Mm.
they give it to you in a brown
because
paper
they know
bag.
you're going to go drink it in the gutter.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're gonna drink it outside their establishment, and they don't want to be seen
Here's
giving.
the funny thing. The funny thing, it doesn't matter. Like,
No.
people think there's a thing, like, if I'm drinking this as a brown paper bag, haha, you can't do anything.
Yeah,
Mm, mm.
No, they
I mean,
still
maybe
let
if
you
they
drink it.
poured it into an open, empty Coke bottle, maybe.
yeah.
But I also think in Australia, there's places where you're not allowed to drink alcohol at all, like alcohol-free zones.
Mm.
There you can't do it. But if they've got those alcohol-free zones, then if I'm not in an alcohol-free zone, I can walk down the street and drink a beer, and there's nothing wrong. That's the way I interpret it when I go on walks.
I don't think that's true.
I go on walks with beer.
Sure. Oh no, I mean,
Be that as it may.
more power to
I
you.
do.
I
we
do.
do
I
live,
don't think you're technically supposed to do that though.
Mm.
we do live like right next to a police station, so when they are driving out, I do try and position it behind Hannah.
Technically, you're not meant to have a.
So you can
Bottle
slip
of
it
wine
into
at
her
a
hand if
picnic.
they pull over,
Yeah, it's one of those things. I
and
think
you'd be like,
the police.
"I told you to leave that at home. I can't believe
Like,
you've
you-
done this to me again."
You go to a picnic, there are people drinking beer. I think the cops don't care. As long as you're not
No.
causing problems and being loud and rowdy, they don't care.
Mm.
Yeah, I think most of the time that's probably true. And then you go to somewhere like New Orleans where you can literally walk into a pub, buy a drink,
Mm.
leave the pub with the drink in the glass you bought it
Yes.
in, and then walk into another pub
Las
with
Vegas
the same drink
as well.
No one gives
But
a shit.
make sure you don't urinate.
What?
No, absolutely not.
Sorry?
Yeah, if you,
Yeah,
if you
no. Urinating in public in New Orleans.
Oh, in public.
is a
Right. I thought you meant you
big
can't
no-no.
piss the beer you drank in one pub in the
but it's a
bathroom of another
catch-22,
pub.
right? Because you're absolutely right. Don't urinate in public, but also don't try and use the fucking restroom in a bar that you haven't bought a drink in because they fucking know, and they will prevent you from peeing.
They will put
Yeah,
that
no,
piss
you
back
want to use
in you.
ours? You buy another drink.
I've walked into a packed bar.
Yeah.
Everyone's watching a fucking band. It's packed, and I'm like, oh, I'll just sneak through to the bathroom. As soon as I get to the door, big guy steps out in front of me. Where do you think you're going, mate?
Oh,
You
really?
didn't buy a drink? Like, fuck, man.
Wow.
You're a
You watching me,
savant.
are you? Yeah.
Well, that's their job.
Look,
Yeah.
if we're going to stay on multiple drinkgasm for a while, although coming off alcoholic drinks and just onto, I don't know, gimmicky, emmicky drinks. Have you guys heard of Prime? Because I hadn't until my 12-year-old nephew.
That's Logan Paul's
It's
drink.
Logan Paul's drink. It costs about $40 a bottle, and my nephew
What?
is
Mhm.
fucking desperate to drink one. Apparently,
It's
it's what the
ridiculous.
cool kids are drinking right now.
What is it?
They had a
Gatorade.
It's like a yeah.
Oh.
They had a in the UK. They got like Audi or whatever it is. Got some cases in, was selling it cheap, and there was basically riots and lines around the street to come in and buy the bottles.
Mm.
It's I don't know.
Okay.
I
can buy
I
a-
don't get Logan Paul.
I can
Or
buy
the
a
Paul
case of
brothers.
this
I don't know why.
from Walmart for $30.
Okay,
You
well,
can
what you
get
should
some of
do,
that
Matt,
too.
is buy that
Is
case
buy
for
it, import it
$30.
here.
Yeah, bring it to Australia, and then you can sell it for $40 a hit.
Really? One bottle of the
Mhm.
lemon lime flavor, 16-ounce bottle, $1.88 Walmart.
Yeah, it's only super expensive to import it here for some
Yeah.
reason.
Mm.
You know what? I'll buy some of this too, and I'll
Why not?
give that a shot.
Yeah.
What flavor should I get? Okay,
What do they
let me
got?
all right, let's have a grape.
Oh, we'll get
I'd go
grape. then.
grape.
Yeah,
Yeah.
case
All right.
closed. Yeah.
Okay, so you haven't heard the other options yet.
No, don't need
Uh,
to. Grape's the best. If
lemon
there
lime.
is no, fuck that. If there is grape, you're
No.
getting grape.
Blue raspberry.
Oh, okay.
Ooh.
Yeah, okay.
Is there red?
Oh, red raspberries.
Yeah, red is. Oh, red's tropical punch.
Mm.
No. No.
Man, do you know
it's got to be no? Sorry, Tropical Punch is orange.
have you ever bought red Powerade in America?
No. Oh,
Because if you have, that's a fucking mistake. Because it's not berry ice here. It's Tropical Punch. And it's disgusting.
You don't expect something red to be Tropical Punch. That's orange.
no.
For sure.
No, and also it's like
I
that
hope you
thing
told
where,
the Americans
You know
that.
what something tastes like, and you go, yeah, and you take a sip, and then you go, because it's just
Yeah.
like completely the wrong flavor profile.
Yep.
Yeah, it's gross.
Sticking on Logan Paul news,
Go on.
have you seen he's been caught in another scam?
Oh god.
Oh,
has
his
he?
NFT thing.
His NFT thing. So he was making a game, and yes, he didn't make money out of it, but a lot of people made millions of dollars out of it.
He's fucking adamant that it is not a scam, despite all the evidence to the contrary.
All the evidence. So there's a YouTube channel called Coffeezilla that
Yeah.
did a 3-part investigation into what was it, Crypto Zoo.
Crypto Zoo, yeah.
And then he came out and went, I'm going to sue Coffeezilla. It's not a scam. And all of his defenses were the people working on it were criminals that I hired.
He's since said he's not going to sue Coffeezilla.
Yeah,
'Cause
he's
he
come
can't.
out now and done
'Cause
another
it's
one. but
true.
I'm making it right. Where
Can you-
me and his manager, they're burning all of their coins to try and increase the value of other coins, and they're
Oh.
still committed to it. But
Whatever.
it's all a money-making scheme.
So is
Anything
that why
that's
it's a
crypto
scam, or is
anything.
there a scam deeper than the fact that they're creating fake scarcity?
No. So basically, they did I think. So a couple of guys who were in it, second it went live, they just sold their coins and left with millions of dollars.
Oh, I
Of
see.
course they
It's
did.
called a bit like a pump and dump.
Yeah. Okay.
Mm. Wink,
Like, yeah,
wink.
you.
Yeah. Yeah. That's Luke's.
I also
dating
think
life.
pump and dump means something different in America than it does here.
no. I'm not
Wow.
aware of a difference. Could be.
Yeah, you artificially increase the price of the coins, then sell out before anyone else realizes, and then everyone else is stuck holding worthless coins. I don't understand why crypto's still a thing.
Yeah, and I don't know a lot about finances, especially in the digital realm, but that sounds like if that was happening on the stock market, that would not be legal. Is it only not illegal because there's no regulation over crypto?
That type of stuff is also not entirely illegal in the stock market either.
Okay.
Like, you remember when the recent GameStop thing, when they were trying to increase the stock, but then people kept buying it in, keeping it up there to stop all these investors who were trying to...
Yes, and technically not breaking any laws.
Not breaking any laws, even though it's completely immoral.
And I guess the same thing happens when Elon Musk says something dumb, which either puts the share price up or plummets it. Did you guys know that he is now in the Guinness Book of Records for losing the most amount of money in history?
And it's only recently as
Yeah,
well.
it's this week. It's not even the he spent however many billions of dollars on Twitter. It's literally just the amount of his shares that has gone down, that his net worth has
Oh yeah, because
plummeted.
Tesla's tanked now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, Tesla, they were the first, but now everyone's catching up.
They have no future. They have absolutely no future.
Look, I've just ordered from Walmart a case of 12 blue raspberry prime whatever. Oh wait, this is some weird with BCAA blend for muscle recovery. You know what? I'll drink it anyway.
I was about to say, Google that first and make sure that's
It
something
is
you
meant to
want
be
in
like
your
a
body.
health. It
Is
is
it?
meant to be like a health drink.
For listeners, Luke's doing scare quotes, so just take that with a grain of
It's
salt.
10% coconut water, no sugar, BCAAs, whatever that is, antioxidants, electrolytes, and zinc for immunity.
We skipped over the bit we didn't know. BCAA is a branched chain amino
growth
acid,
hormone.
a group of 3 essential
Right.
amino acids. Oh, okay, that doesn't sound too bad.
May increase muscle growth. All right,
Okay,
so,
so-
I'm swole as next week.
Yeah, I was about to say. I don't think it actually increases muscle growth. I think it's just if you take it before you work out, it can benefit
Right.
you.
What happens if you take it and then don't work out?
Yeah, nothing
Well, that-
is what I assume.
Okay.
The same thing happens when you don't take it and then don't work out.
Okay, good.
You
As
will
long
not.
as it's nothing
You will
bad,
not increase in
fine.
size. Yeah, yeah. Sweet
Who knows?
taste,
You
some
might drink a
monsterism.
can and just feel this urge to start bulking up. And
Oh, I
lift
feel the
weights.
urge to start bulking up. I just don't actually do it. It's not getting the urge that's the problem with me.
I found the best thing to do is just watch some YouTube videos on how to do it, and then you kind of get that feeling like you've done it without having to worry about doing it.
Yeah, because you've been exercise minded for a little while.
Yeah. It's like when you like, I've got a lot of work to do, and then you just shuffle your to-do list around for half an hour, and then you go, I better take a break.
Yeah, that's right. I've cleaned up my desktop. I've gotten rid of those temporary files I put there.
It's time for a coffee.
Yeah.
And it's now 1 past the hour, so I've got to wait.
Yeah. On the subject of GameStop, just because it's relevant to this article, there's an article in here. There's a software engineer who got busted.
Yes.
And has been charged with theft of over $300,000 from an e-commerce website he used to be a developer for. And on his desktop, they found a file called Office Space Project. And he basically watched Office Space, the movie, Office Space, if you're not familiar, which is a movie about these guys who decide that they're just going to set the software to round all the transactions off and put all the loose change into a bank account, except they fuck up and the rounding is wrong and they end up stealing like millions of dollars overnight. Anyway, this guy stole the idea. He rounded all the shipping charges off this website off and just dumped them into this account of his.
Not even
and
an
also
offshore Swiss account, just his own
just
fucking
a Stripe account.
Yeah, fucking amateur.
Yeah.
I've watched enough Netflix documentaries on art theft to know that you don't just divert it back to your own account. He
also gave himself discounts on products on the website that allowed him to buy 1,000 items of merch worth $41,000 for $250. Like as if no one was going to notice that either.
Not any reason why he didn't get caught.
This is what happened. He probably did it on a couple of things, like not too big, and then he just got greedy.
Yeah.
And it says here too that he did get caught for that. And then he said, oh, yes, no worries. And then police asked him, why didn't you return the items? And he said, fuck him. Righto.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so now he's going to jail.
I used to work retail. Luke, you used to work retail as well, right? Matt, you worked retail for a little bit back in the day. Yeah. Okay.
I did. Yeah.
So
never worked with food, only retail.
Oh, yeah, I never did
food either.
Food. Yeah. But I worked at a music store for a while, and I realized at a certain point that what you could do is you could scan the barcode on the front, the sticker, and it would have the predetermined price in it. Or you could scan the barcode on the back, which would identify the product, but with no price, and that you could then type a price in. So I did from time to time pay what I thought the product was worth, not what the store was actually asking me for. But I only did it within,
So you were pretending you were on Bandcamp back before Bandcamp existed.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Well, this guy, the cops have also asked him where the $300,000 is, and he said he invested it all in GameStop and it's gone.
So, yeah, okay, sure.
All right then.
Yeah.
I think the only dodgy thing that I ever did was I gave discounts to charities.
You son of a bitch.
I'm not even joking.
We have a listener, and obviously I'm not going to mention his name, and I actually don't know all the details of this, but we have a listener who was running a credit card scam when we were teenagers. And
really?
He was selling, do you remember? I think he was selling 1-800 numbers that you could get phone calls. You could use.
You mean 1-500 numbers?
Is that what I'm thinking of? Anyway,
or 1902.
He put it under his dog's name, and one day the federal police turned up at his house, and his mum opened the door, and they asked to speak to
the dog,
and she was like, "That's a dog."
Our dog.
And they're like, "Well, your dog."
I'm going to beep the dog's name just in case.
Just in case they
I don't want any hassles. I'm going to beep the dog's name.
I'm sorry to say that dog's been gone for many, many years.
Doesn't matter. Someone might know who it is. Maybe the federal police might be listening.
You know what? Maybe we do we not tell the story? Should I not tell? Should we cut back in now anyway?
Not to when there's legal ramifications.
So funny though. All right.
I'll beep the dog's name. I'll beep the dog's name and the crime and the rest of the story.
Yeah.
And then we'll be fine.
But if that is you, and you know it's you, if it is you, please remind me of what the actual scam was, because clearly I don't know the details.
Because you're looking for a bit of extra cash.
No, I want to be able to tell the story right.
It's just about honesty in our journalism.
That's right. Please don't ever refer to us as journalists.
Probably best not to. Speaking of crime, we've got an Ezra Miller update.
Of course we do.
I like this because it says Ezra Miller pleads guilty to trespassing. He did
Yes.
not. There's no way he did. The lawyers that Warner Brothers hired for him went, you sit down, we're going to handle this.
The booze was in the house. Ezra Miller was in the house. The booze left the house with Ezra Miller, and he didn't have permission. I mean, how do you plead not guilty to that?
Well, you plead he pled guilty, but not to theft. I think he pled guilty to a lesser charge.
Trespassing.
Of trespassing, of accidentally taking booze from the wrong
Once
house.
I was inside, they offered me a drink.
Yeah, that's right, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And
Well,
I
I
helped
assume they
myself
would have.
to the drink that I wanted, which was several bottles of whiskey.
Held myself to what I thought was my drinks in my house that turned out to not be my house.
If I'd stayed, I would have drunk all that booze, so I just took it with me.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, this goes with the theory that they're trying to calm things down so that the Flash can come out and everyone can forget that Ezra Miller is kind of a cop.
I'm still saying he's not going to continue as the Flash after this. I still think they're just trying to calm it down to just get bad press out the way.
I think the reason they haven't announced it, because they probably, I mean, they're waiting to see, right? You'd have said something by now if it was.
But also, this is
decided.
the Streisand effect, right? They're worried that if they start saying we've forgiven Ezra Miller or we're rehabilitating him or what, if they actually make a statement, then they're acknowledging that they know there's a problem, and so people will start going, "Oh, there is a problem."
Yeah. Well, there is.
There absolutely is. Yeah. Yeah. And the theft and trespassing in Vermont is the tip of the iceberg.
Right.
Yeah, like that's the.
They're not going to comment on the other
part
stuff
of it all.
Yeah.
Not even. Yeah.
Ezra Miller pleads guilty and to trespassing and some other stuff.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it might have threatened a family with a gun, might have kidnapped a young girl.
Don't worry about
did that young girl
like behavior
ever make it home?
Oh,
I'm assuming.
God, I hope so, Matt. Especially when you phrase it like that.
We've had a lot of updates about Ezra Miller. Not a lot of updates about Ezra Miller's kidnapped fucking young girl.
Correct.
Well, did we know he actually kidnapped it? It was just he was stopping.
It counts as
he was
kidnapping
hindering the
if you
investigation.
convince by coercion an underage person to leave their parents' home and move into
and
your home.
their parents are like calling the police and saying
please
"We want our
come
daughter
back. Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, by the letter of the law, yes, kidnapped. The kid
was napped.
I assume that's what that means.
Probably is, yeah.
Just give me Michael Keaton as Batman.
Yeah, that's
Cut
what we
Ezra Miller
want.
out of the
In fact,
movie.
yeah,
Just
I
give
don't
the
even
Batman.
care about Flash. Just make a Batman.
Just recut it
In
into
fact,
a Batman movie.
Take the footage you've already shot of Michael Keaton as Batman and edit it into Matt Reeves' Batman 2 that we know he's making.
Yeah, he's already said he's working on the script.
Yeah. Just write it in so that...
I've got to rewatch that movie because
Same.
because I didn't dislike it. I felt it was a bit overlong, but I watched it on my phone on a plane, right? And I remember thinking it is very pretty, but people have like lose their minds over the cinematography in that movie.
Are they?
And
The movie should have stopped a few times. It just kept going.
But I just really want to watch it again now, so on my big TV, so I can kind of like.
Well, I watched it on a cinema screen, and I think you're right. I think the cinematography was fine and quite good. I think great, sure, but it was just boring. It's just a lot of it was just boring.
Yeah.
And Matt Reeves has come out and said, "Oh, the next one's going to feature far less Batman, and we're just going to delve into who Bruce Wayne is." And I'm like, that is the one thing you don't want to do in a Batman movie.
Yeah, right.
I also feel like Alfred did a lot more of the detective work than Batman did.
He did.
That's true.
Yeah.
I'll figure this one out for you again,
yeah,
Master
he
Wayne.
got a fair bit
Alfred.
wrong too, but as it turns out, the Riddler was so clever that the clues also led you to the correct answer if you got them wrong.
That's another reason I want to watch it again, because that pissed me off. I was like, hang on, what?
So I watched a mystery film this week that I quite enjoyed, although I'm going to put the quotes around the word mystery because it's not a mystery. And I know we don't like to talk up... for fuck's sake, I'm getting so...
Ryan Johnson.
Thank you.
It's fine. Ryan Johnson is fine if he stays away from Star Wars.
Yeah. So I watched Glass Onion.
Looks like my dad with the gays. I got no problem with him doing what he's doing as long as he stays away from me.
Do it to me. Yeah. You can fuck any other man on this planet. There's almost 8 billion of them.
Stay away from my Star Wars.
Luke, did you watch Glass Onion?
I haven't yet, but I did watch the original Knives Out. I didn't mind it.
This is just as good,
I do want to sit down and
possibly
watch
even
it.
a little bit better. Perfectly enjoyable movie. Like I said, wouldn't call it a mystery per se. It's pretty obvious what you're looking at. But just as a light-hearted romp that is literally full of stars, like there are, I don't know how Rian Johnson got the clout he got for casting, but there are there are no not famous people in this movie.
Yeah,
Okay, this is not a spoiler. At one point, they go to get on a boat, and the guy whose job it is to just like fucking check them before they get on the boat is Ethan Hawke. He has like 2 lines. He's in one scene.
Right.
Angela Lansbury is in it.
Yes,
I knew
she
that.
is.
Yeah.
But Rian Johnson had to try and explain the rules to Among Us to her.
Yeah.
And eventually she went, just tell me what I meant to say.
Yeah, because it's
not
meant to
getting
be that they're having a LAN game of Among Us.
Right.
Yeah.
So I got to watch both of them, I guess. I got to watch these, and I got to watch the Poirot movies. The what's his name?
The Poirot movies
what
are
I mean.
better. They're better than these.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Because they're real mysteries.
Kenneth Branagh. That's who I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Okay.
Well,
so these are
But Rian Johnson just stick to this, and I think there is.
He will.
There's already a third one coming out. and
100%.
This is what he should stay with. Stop trying to bring Star Wars up again.
I saw he said in an interview that the next one is going to be less of a whodunit and more of a howdunit, and I was like, oh, all right. It's called Columbo. It's been done, mate.
No, but Matt, I encourage that because his whodunits are very obvious.
Right.
Okay, it's almost like, who's the most suspicious character? Guess what? It's them.
Right.
In both. In Knives Out and in Glass Onion. Yeah, you should. It's enjoyable. I watched it. There is a bit of a twist, but it's not the murderer who's the twist. There's just the story changes direction midway, and it's quite good.
Okay.
And Daniel Craig is clearly trying to unbond himself. You know what I mean? Like he's just
Sure.
he wants to go in another direction.
Yeah. All right.
Oh,
they're on
Knives Out movies until he retires.
They're on Netflix. All right. Actually, I think they've got
Much to Rian
Glass Onion at
Johnson's
some point.
disapproval. He is encouraging you to go to the cinema and watch this.
Yeah.
You shouldn't have sent me a disc then.
Yeah.
But no, not Glass Onion, just, straight to Netflix.
Well, he was sending you a disc because he was hoping for a Golden Globe, I assume, which has happened this week.
Well, don't tell him I'm not allowed to vote for those.
Yeah.
Keep the discs coming, Ryan.
Well, I tell you, there's someone who didn't win one, but will probably win an Oscar this year for the role of the Whale, and that's Brendan Fraser.
Oh, yeah.
He is absolutely...
I've got a copy of that too.
Yeah. Well, I haven't seen it yet. Real tearjerker, apparently. And apparently he is the number one choice for the Oscar. Not the number one choice to win the Golden Globe. Do you know why?
Because the public votes for Golden
because
Globe?
the head of the Globes touched him.
Yeah.
Oh,
Because he called out the head of the Hollywood Foreign Press Association.
I touched him. That sounded so condescending.
No, but that is what he did.
He
Apparently he touched him.
Yeah, but it was sexual assault.
Yeah.
I shouldn't have been so blunt.
He touched him when he didn't want to be touched.
And then ruined his fucking career.
And then ruined his career. And they told him, if you go forward with this, we will ruin your career. And
they did until now.
and that's why, we lost him as an actor for many, many years.
Yeah. Well, and the more I think about it, the more I remember really, really liking him. Like when he was around and he was in movies, I probably would have. Like I went to see that dumb movie where he just lives in a bunker. You know what I mean? Just because I'm like, I'm like, okay, Brendan Fraser lives in a bunker. Let's go see this. What's it called? Out of Time
Yeah, for me,
or something?
he started off as a bit silly, like Encino Man, but then you could see him starting to grow and become...
The Mummy is excellent. I don't care what anyone says.
They're entertaining.
The Mummy was my go-to, don't know
Still
what
the
to
best
watch,
ride at
put something on.
Universal Studios too, and he's on the screens in it.
Yes, yeah. Is he still on there? I wonder.
I assume so, he was
Yeah.
last time I went there. It's been a little while, but...
Going, why won't someone believe me? I was touched.
Yeah, I hope he does win an Academy Award, because that would be a big, nice middle finger to all those fuckers.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah.
And I mean, not that should be the only reason. Like, I haven't seen the film, but I hear his performance is
Yes, correct. And
worth
it will
one
also
as
be,
well.
and I don't mean to take any kudos away from Austin Butler, who won the Golden Globe this year for Best Actor, but it will really show people that the reason he didn't get one was because of this drama, not because he didn't deserve it. Because usually you can assume, okay, if they've got the Globe, they're going to get the Oscar.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, I guess I should watch that.
I'll be honest, it doesn't look like a movie we would
I'm not
like
gonna watch it.
necessarily. Yeah, it's just,
No, but I'm just interested.
Yeah. In fact, the storyline.
And I heard they were handing
exactly
out tissues
like,
at the theater, so I'm expecting some pretty
so I'm
hot
bringing
action.
lube. Yeah. No, but it's Aronofsky, right? And I like his movies, but
Yes.
I mostly like his science fiction movies.
Yeah. I think, wasn't Mother the last one he did before this?
And that was great. I loved that too.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I also liked The Wrestler, which is about a guy who used to be successful and then kind of fucked his life up and lost his daughter, and now as an old man is trying to reconnect with that estranged daughter. I believe that is also the plot of this movie. He's just not a wrestler. So,
and we've all seen
It's a
Black
whale.
Swan. You know why, listeners.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
why.
yeah.
I've only seen one part of Black Swan.
You know what part it is,
Yeah.
listeners.
The vagina. Two vaginas.
Who I was going to say, whose is it? Which one of them?
Yeah.
The one that turned me down.
I wonder how many, I mean,
Mm-hmm. Go on.
how many people saw that movie just because, I mean, they basically should have had the trailer be Natalie Portman making out with Mila Kunis.
Yeah. Yeah. Fingered the movie.
You're going to come and see this.
Yeah. Or
You won't
the other
like
way
it.
around.
It's gonna really weird you out.
Yeah, that's
but
right.
it's one scene you'll like a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. It's weird and actually quite boring until
Yes.
Mila Kunis fingers Natalie Portman.
Natalie Portman, who then turns into a literal swan.
Yeah. You thought it was a metaphor, and it probably should have been, but we went all in at the end.
Great
I
movie.
don't know that part.
Also, their teacher is a guy who's married to Monica Bellucci, but she lets him fuck other women.
That guy, the guy from Brotherhood of the Wolf.
Correct, yeah. Vincent
Yeah.
Cassel.
That's him. Yeah,
Mm.
yeah. I like him.
He's a cool dude. Do you know that they have him and Monica Bellucci have a house, like a mansion that they both live in, but they also
of course
have,
they do.
yeah, they also have a posh flat in Paris that's their fuck anyone you want pad. That they,
Right.
because they have an open relationship, so it's just like, oh, if
Yeah.
you want to,
So I don't know if anyone's heading over to Paris that...
yeah, I'm going to Paris for the
Yeah.
weekend. Okay.
Right. Yeah, wink, wink.
Mhm.
Do you have the number for the flat?
yeah,
Not for Vincent.
yeah.
Just hang around outside.
As your dad
I'm
would
sure it's
say,
just, yeah,
I don't
just
care
some-
what happens in that flat, so long as I don't get invited to it.
I watched a show on Netflix. Yeah, Netflix this week. It was 4 episodes. It's by what's his name? The guy who did Sherlock and all that. What's his name? Why can't I think of his name?
Guy who did the Sherlock.
The guy who did Sherlock. The show.
You mean the showrunner of Sherlock? I actually don't know.
Correct. His name is. Why can't I think of his name? Stephen Moffat.
Sure.
It's by Stephen Moffat. And it's got David Tennant as a vicar,
Oh, okay.
and it's got Stanley Tucci as a
Oh.
convicted murderer.
Oh, hello.
And it's a story about this situation that just gets way out of hand for David Tennant. And I don't even want to say anything more than
Okay.
that, except
Will you tell
it's
us the
got-
title of said show?
did I not? I said it's
No.
Inside Man, didn't I? Oh, did I not say that? I apologize. I thought I said it was Inside Man.
Or
That's what it's called.
maybe we thought you were just still talking about what happens in Vincent Cassel's
flat in Paris. Yeah.
Mm.
No, it's called Inside Man. Yeah, no, it's very good. It's actually got a bunch of people you'll probably recognize, British actors, and then it's interesting because Tucci's in prison in America,
Mm.
whereas most of it takes place in
Okay,
England.
I was
You'll
going to ask if
understand.
Tucci does a British accent.
No. It
He's
makes
the
a bit
most
more sense when you
New
watch it.
York guy you could imagine.
But there is some stuff, like it escalates quite suddenly at times, and then to the point where I'm like, what the fuck? Like, all right, fine.
Okay.
But then it's only 4 episodes, and once it gets going, there are some scenes in it. It's just so harrowing. Like, I think you should check it out. It's good. You have to kind of shut your brain off Well, I did at times and just go, all right, fine. I'll accept that happened.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just weird for 4 episodes. I've not.
Well, it's like a British season almost, except it's got, it's Netflix.
2 less.
And it's well, British seasons. I mean, Sherlock was only ever 3 or 4, right?
Oh, those. So these
It's like a mini series sort of.
Limited series.
Yeah.
like 1.5 hour episodes or something.
I mean, it's as long as it needs to be. It couldn't be any longer than this, I don't think, without it dragging on. But
which is good. Don't have filler.
I recommend it.
Except it
Really
sounds
good
like they
performance
did.
from David Tennant in it, in particular. And I mean, Stanley Tucci's amazing too. But yeah,
Okay.
there's a vicar who just gets in over his head in something, and it's fucking times you're like, "Fuck, mate, what are you doing?"
Oh, look at this. There are so many shows called Inside Man.
I know. That's why when I was
don't be
just trying to find,
confused. There's
I was
at
trying to
least
look at-
3 coming up when I'm trying to Google this now.
it's on when I open up Netflix, it was on the front page
Ah.
telling me to watch it. So I was like, "Oh, okay." And then a friend of mine had seen it and said it was very good. So, and they were right. It is out.
We just make sure.
Oh, and a bit of follow up. I looked up some stuff about Severance because I finished watching
Oh,
it.
yes,
Have you seen
yep.
it?
Okay.
And I had said I prefer to know if it's lost or if it's planned.
yes.
Lost as in like Lost the TV series. I mean,
Yeah.
it's
It's
always
lost its way.
It is
Yeah.
planned.
It's a bit of both.
Okay.
Okay.
They threw in some stuff and said, we'll figure it out later. And then there was apparently the season was supposed to be long, or that had been planned and written as longer. But then Ben Stiller said, we should strip this down a bit, make it a bit more mysterious, remove some of this information from earlier on, shuffle some stuff around, and you should end where it ended. And then they were like,
Okay.
all right. So they have the start of the next season basically is already written.
Is
because
going to be the
supposed
last,
to
what
be.
was going to be episode 10.
Yeah. Well, actually, I
Well,
think
it sounds like
he
bits
said
and pieces. Right.
he said where season 1 ended technically as written originally would have been the end of episode 8, and there would have been 2 more after that.
Okay.
So that'll be the start of season 2, but then some stuff like the goats,
Mm-hmm.
they
Just mysterious.
they were just like, what if there's goats?
Yeah, and that's what I think. There is some stuff that's just going to be like just funny. Here it is, but not going to. Doesn't really
I don't mind
change the
some of
story or
that.
plot, really. Yeah.
But I mean, have you seen on YouTube that like 30-minute long montage of just all the abandoned plot lines on Lost?
Yes. Yeah. None of that. Thanks. Just like.
Speaking of goats, though,
Although, as I've said before, I enjoyed Lost, and then
oh yeah, me
honestly,
too.
watching that long montage that you've described was actually quite entertaining.
Yeah,
to be honest.
yeah,
So
yeah.
it is what it is.
You know what I watch over and over again? Have you seen that fucking YouTube clip of that little girl talking about the fucking goats outside?
Yes,
Oh,
it's a fucking goat.
Yeah, it's so fun. Mum, there's a fucking goat outside.
Yeah.
And
it's a goat. No, it's a fucking goat.
And it must be because her dad must have said, "Oh, that fucking goat's back" or something, and she
Yeah.
heard it because she's like, "Mum, a fucking goat is outside."
She just thinks they're called fucking goats.
Yeah, it's just a goat, sweetie. No, Mum, it's a fucking goat.
So,
Fucking goat outside.
It's just a goat.
No, it's a fucking goat.
I've actually
Yeah.
recently found a new YouTube channel I've started watching
Go on.
go on.
because, yeah, I've given up on Rooster Teeth.
Oh.
Let's Game It Out.
Oh,
So it's a guy who plays games, and a lot of them are like Planet Coaster and like those world-building games,
okay.
Yeah.
and just breaks them.
Okay.
Like just tries to do outlandish stuff, and it's very amusing.
Hmm.
So I say give that a try.
I'll pip a channel that I like. Real Civil Engineer.
Oh,
He's a British guy who plays like poly bridge and stuff like that, and he's actually a structural engineer. Doesn't help him that much sometimes, but still quite entertaining. He's a funny guy.
well, I'll plug one too that I enjoy. Perry Fractic's Retro Recipes. Right, recently,
Ooh.
he just reviews old tech and stuff like this, but he
Cool.
found a photograph of his bedroom from the late 80s or early 90s and recreated it exactly in his current house.
Ah,
He found the
that's
actual
cool.
computer he had. He got the books that was on his desk, and it's just very, very cool.
Oh wow!
all right. What are these channels? I got to write these down.
Let's Game It Out.
Yeah. Let's game it out, and
Retro Recipes.
I'll put a link to them in the show notes.
Excellent.
It's not going to benefit us any.
No,
No.
Maybe one day. But if you do want to benefit us,
Yeah,
it's
that's right.
patreon.com/multiple nerdgasm. And for as little as $1 a month, you can support the show. For $5 a month, you can get the show early, and it will never have ads in it. For $10 a month, you get all that, and you get the after party. But we keep shitting on for, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes after this show ends.
That's how hyped we are.
And you should also head over and check out Save File at savefilepodcast.com or
You've probably
search
already
on
heard of
iTunes
it, actually, if you're on social media.
I was going to say, yeah. If you're on Instagram, you just see more from them than you have from us. So, about us.
She lets me know when multiple Nerdgasm episode comes out. It's great.
Yep.
I know because I schedule.
And it also means that I know what board games Luke's playing and what horror movies Sarah's watching. It's just great to be able to keep up with everyone's life.
I actually got a new board game this week.
Oh, yeah? What was that?
Frosthaven.
Frosthaven?
Yes. It's a sequel to Gloomhaven.
Oh, okay.
It finally arrived because I kickstarted this years ago. It arrived this week, except they didn't include my add-ons, which is like all the sleeves for the games and stuff.
Sons of bitches.
So I've got to wait for that. But my God, this was good value.
Oh,
Really?
damn it. I've accidentally clicked onto Kogan. Now I'm going to get emails.
So it was Frosthaven. So it was like $100 for the game. The box that arrived was 16 kilos.
Yeah, it's got a lot of set pieces, right?
A lot of stuff,
Yeah.
And
this looks
sort of
great.
like-
Even Gloomhaven
Yeah.
looks fantastic.
I mean, possibly that's because they were asking for $500,000 and they got almost 13 million. So
Wow.
I guess
Yes.
some stretch goals got unlocked
Sure.
as that happened for sure.
But yeah, I've emailed them and go, hey, where do I get my sleeves? Because I want to. That's what I look forward to when I get games, is actually sleeving it all up. I never play them, but I'm actually wanting to play this.
You know, you could just buy bits of cardboard and sleeves to put the bits of cardboard in. You could do that.
I actually
No,
don't know
I
what
just
you mean
buy
by
the
sleeves
official
because I'm
ones.
not really in the in the board
So
game.
just to protect the cards.
You know, like you just put them in a little bit of plastic sleeve.
Oh,
the card in it.
right, yeah. That's what you're talking about. That's what you're complaining that they haven't given you.
There
It's
are
his-
hundreds
It's his
and hundreds.
favorite thing to do, Dan.
And
Complain.
there's also hundreds of cards.
But right, but the card. You're
Like
saying they just
hundreds.
came loose in a box.
No, they came in the box and they're sort of like how you get a pack of cards, like all wrapped up.
Well, what do you
But I
want?
want to sleeve them.
You
So-
mean like when we used to collect and like it's like 3x3 on
Fleer Ultra X-Men cards.
Yeah.
No, not
That's-
3x3. So,
But they're
no.
but yes, but individual.
Individual sleeves. So
You
can
want to
play with them.
individually sleeve every card in a deck.
That's
Yes.
quite common, Dan.
What?
Yeah,
Yes.
people do.
'Cause that's
Otherwise,
how
they
you
get
protect
people
the cards.
people spill nacho cheese on them, and
Okay. Do you do this with all?
Yeah, I do it with all my games.
Do you do this with
I don't.
say like
I've done it with some games.
what? Do you
Like
do
a
it with
good one
Cards
I've
Against
definitely
Humanity,
sleeved.
like that kind of thing? You've sleeved them.
I haven't sleeved those ones, but I've sleeved like definitely Love Letter because that's one I get used a lot. But pretty much most of the games, I would
Really?
sleeve them all.
Huh.
It just protects them from people, spilling drinks or they're playing with grotty hands while they're eating nacho chips.
Fair enough. Okay, so but doesn't
People,
it-
if you're going to a game night, do not order finger
Yeah.
food.
Yeah.
It's rude.
Not order Natalie Portman.
Yeah, do not finger Natalie Portman at Luke's house. She will not be there.
Or if you have and you want to play, take the card out of the wrapper for
Yeah.
him. Do him a
If-
solid.
If you have fingered Natalie Portman, write in. Let us know. Podcast at multiplenerdgasm.com.
But no, I used to go to like things like games in the pub and stuff. So we go to a pub and people would bring games and play, and then there would
Yeah.
be people who would go
Oh yeah,
up
they
and just
make a mess.
They
Or
make
someone
a
will knock a
mess,
beer over on
and
shit
they don't care because
It's not their
they
game.
just assume it's sort of like, no, these are our games.
But what if you've got a little like if I'm playing Monopoly and I've got my little pile of community chest, they're all sleeved,
Yeah.
right? That means that
Yep.
pile's going to be 5 times as high and like not sticking to itself, right?
Big chest.
Mm-hmm.
I'm baffled by this,
It's a trade-off.
fellas.
Next
I
time
must
you
say.
here, I will show you some of my sleeved games.
Is it less dramatic than I'm imagining? Like I'm just
Yes,
I
okay.
think so.
it's very normal
Okay.
thing.
Yeah.
I think in
It's
my
perfectly
head,
normal.
it's
like all the other stuff Luke does.
yeah. hmm Cool.
No,
Very
it is
normal.
very common.
This looks good, and Gloomhaven looks excellent as well. I might
Yeah.
have to look
Mm.
at that at one stage.
Look, speaking of tabletop games, did you hear about the D&D stuff this week? It's not.
Yeah.
This is not in the spreadsheet. I'm gonna have to put it in because that's.
There was a whole bunch of
talking about.
D&D the movie / the TV show news.
Nah, this is
No.
all about was it West Coast Wizards or
Wizards of the Coast,
Wizards
yeah.
of the Coast.
Yeah.
So they.
Going, we've got the license. We're not making much money from D&D.
Mhm.
We want to make money.
Oh.
Yeah. So somebody at Wizards an employee leaked this document that was. So one of the reasons Dungeons and Dragons is so popular is because it was released under the Open Gaming license, an Open Gaming license, which means that you could write your own supplement for D&D. You could say, "Oh, look, I've decided that there should be, a race of creatures called Begurbans, and therefore I'm going to write all the stats for them." And you could publish that on the internet and sell it and make money. And that's part of what has, in theory, made D&D so popular, is that people can do that and other companies could build on it and all that kind of stuff. And now what they're saying is, well, the leaked document didn't have any really justifications for anything. All it said was, that's changing a bit. If you make over $750,000, you'll have to pay something like 25% royalties, which that's not going to affect small people, but there are companies out there that will affect.
I think they're
for
really
sure.
sort of aiming at, like, they're basically tailoring it for stuff like Critical Role and things like that. For you're making millions off this.
Yeah, but they sponsor them too, so it's a little weird,
Mm.
right? So I don't know, and the other thing is too that if you want to do that stuff from now on, you'll have to apply for a license, and they'll know, and they have to approve it. And there was a lot of change, and they were saying that the other disturbing thing was that they were saying that anything released under the old license would retroactively now be changed, where you have to comply with the new license, and it's like, I don't.
Well, hold
think
on.
you can do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So-
Look, from their
I
point
think
of view,
this is
I
just
get
an
it.
initial draft, and I think it's
Yes.
going to
Yeah.
change.
Well, they came out today and they said, yeah, hang on, no, we're going to go back to the drawing board. There's that document, unfortunately, shouldn't have leaked. Sucks for us. Damage has been done, obviously. But they did say the thing that they're actually targeting is offensive content that's being produced using the D&D rules. There's a lot of that going on, and they want to put a stop to it. Like horrible racist, sexist garbage.
Yeah.
People are making.
Somebody's created a race of small creatures with hooked noses that love money.
That kind of thing, yeah. So none of that. They want to be able to control that stuff, get rid of it. And then also, people are creating NFTs and things using stuff, and they're like, no, we don't want any of that shit either. So that's what they've said.
Look, and actually, having to apply for a license, having to give kickbacks, that's just how licensing for most companies works across the board. So I can understand that. I don't see how this is going to overrule the Creative Commons that used to be.
I think their
done.
the initial leak looked like it was very overbearing.
Yeah,
I
it's
think that's
unfortunate because there's a lot of damage done now, a lot of goodwill lost, because already people are like, well, we won't. Like, if we were going to do a live game now, I wouldn't use D&D just in case.
Yes.
No.
Use Pathfinder or something.
So yeah, that's looking strange. But what was I going to say? Very profound. It's gone. Damn it. No, it's gone.
Okay. Well, it's a shame. And then because there's a Penny Arcade comic today that said it was them talking, like in the comic they're talking about it, and Gabe says, hang on, we should be talking about this. Don't they pay us? And then Jerry's like, they don't pay us anything. They've never paid us anything. Like, they just let us do it. And then Gabe's like, well, fuck them then.
Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, D&D is also something you can play with just pen and paper without paying anyone a cent. So
yes, I remember. I think I
think people forget that that's actually the point of it, really.
I think also, yeah, where this is partly coming from is I think it's because Hasbro is struggling with money.
Correct. Yes.
And
They
Hasbro
own Wizards. Yeah.
And so they're going out like everyone needs to start ramping up their game and bringing in some cash.
Mind you, is this worldwide? Because I seem to recall European and British rights are separate to the American rights for it. So
I'm not sure about
this
that.
might only be domestic for America.
Yeah, interesting point. I don't know. Because the other thing is too, I don't know a lot about this. I've heard people mention they did something else with Magic the Gathering recently, some 30th anniversary thing where they...
Oh, this I know about. So
You know about
they
it? Okay.
re-released like some old cards,
Yes.
like and some very big cards that like are worth thousands of dollars. They were doing a reprint.
Oh, and
of
devalued them.
Not devalued because you can't use these cards. They're reprints, but to buy them, like the whole set or something, is like $1,600.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Like,
But you can't use them.
But you can't use them.
Why can't you use
So,
them?
because the rules say you can't use them. So they're
Weird.
just putting this
Alright.
huge price on it for no reason. Like, if they were to come out and go, "Hey, you've got all these old cards, $300, like for a whole set," or like still mark up the value, make money, but they went to the extreme.
Oh, so you're saying these are
Okay.
like reprints of defunct cards that are no longer part of the game?
Like Blue
Well,
Eyes and
part of the Magic the Gathering thing is that if you buy a deck of cards, you get like these limited, rare ones or whatever. And then if you've got that, there's like you're one of the few people who has it. So I guess if they were to reprint them and say they're now competition usable, that would fuck over all the people that
Unless
spent.
Yeah. True.
so these are all just going to be. To me, these cards are going to actually be worthless because it's
Yeah,
just
sounds like it.
Well, it also
Yeah.
reminds me of when they do reprints of rare comics, but they never do them in the same
Sure.
proportions of those rare comics, so that you can't say,
Right.
"I've got a Superman #1." It's like, well, no, you don't. You've got the '90s reprint of that same comic
Yeah.
in foolscap instead of in A4.
But imagine if most of the value of the Superman comic was, using it in a game, and then you were just able to use either of them. And
Yes,
it's kind of like,
that's
well,
right.
what's the fucking value
Especially
of the other one now?
Especially if the reason it's rare and expensive is because it's also a very powerful card. And I am so into Magic the Gathering that I have paid the couple of grand that some of these cards has, not just for the rarity of it, but also so I can fucking play the card when I'm playing. And now suddenly it's very common.
you're just paying a fortune for a collector's edition that is.
So they took advantage
unusable.
of the fact that they were valuable cards, reprinted them as if they're still valuable, but then you can't use them, so they're not valuable.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
It also sounds
Well, I can
like,
see why people were annoyed about that.
yeah.
Like, it would have been nice to do like a 30th anniversary. Like, here are some of our good cards. If you want the set, like a few $100, here you go. It's a collector's edition.
Yeah, but it's a
usable,
bit
just
cheeky
a
to
nice-
say you're paying collector prices for something that's just a retail item.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's like $1,600 or something ridiculous for something that just there to display.
Yeah.
It's
Well, it's like when they did those redo of the 80s Star Wars
Star
figures.
Wars. Yeah.
And it's
you can
like,
say that.
yeah, I mean, it's like if you like the packaging and you like the look of these retro figures, buy them, but certainly don't buy them
But it's
thinking
not
you're going to
worth
make
it.
any
Yeah,
money.
it's
out
not
of it.
worth the same as
But-
the
Yeah, you
originals.
can't
How
go, oh,
much,
great,
like-
I finally got yak face.
Yeah, I got the one that was me.
the thing I look at is like the cost for them to make these cards is nothing.
Yeah.
Fuck all. Sweet fuck all.
Like-
Because they've already done the art and everything. The card's fucking
Art's
done.
Yeah.
Just send it out to the printer. Printing
Yeah.
cards is for in bulk is not that expensive. Like they're making for probably what they're selling, they're spending $1 to make 1,600 essentially.
Man, I was thinking that recently because I look at some of the things that my daughter plays with, right? And there's like little card games that you can buy that's just like fucking guess the animal. And it's a chicken on one and a pig on the other one and stuff like this. And I'm thinking, like, yes, it doesn't cost much to buy these, but it would
You
cost
should sleeve those cards.
literally nothing to. Yeah. Like if you owned a printing press, i.e., you were already a publisher of something else, it would cost you literally nothing to just also run off
Yeah.
like all of these other little just subsidiary little card games and stuff that print's not dead.
Well, yeah, people are real mad at Wizards of the Coast now. I think
Yeah.
it's not looking good.
So when we do our D&D thing, it's not going to be a D&D thing.
Won't-
And
yeah.
I need to rethink it.
Don't call it that. Yeah.
Mm.
I'd like to
We're
play
doing
I'd play Starfinder if you guys would be interested. Actually, Starfinder looks pretty fun. It's like Pathfinder,
Mm.
which is
But in space.
like D&D, but in space.
Yes.
Yeah.
100%. I mean, when we play D&D, we make our own rules anyway. It's not like we
I am
play
gonna
a
be the
massively
Dungeon Master.
simplified. Okay.
You're going to be the Dungeon Master?
I'm going to be Dungeon Master. I'm working
I don't-
on a campaign at the moment.
You're going to be the legally distinct game master.
Yes,
that's
legally
right.
distinct game master.
Yeah.
That's going to be me.
Yeah.
I'm going to play it.
Or
I'm
the
going to run
dungeon
it.
captain, as we might call it.
So I'm going to try and keep you on track a little bit more.
No.
I told you when I was
Shut
at
down your shit.
Rhode
because-
Island Comic Con, and there was a guy who had little crocheted monsters from like
Mm.
games,
Mm.
and it was a beholder, the big eye
Big
with
eye?
the little eye stalks
Yeah.
coming off it. There was one of those there, and I said to Jenna, "Oh look, it's a beholder," and the guy ran over and he went, "Legally distinct eye monster." I was like, "All right, sorry, mate."
But that's why to
Very
this
good.
day I still love H.P. Lovecraft because he was like, look, I get paid per story. You want to take a character and make a plushie out of it, go right ahead. I'm not asking for any money out of it. Still call it Cthulhu.
I've made enough money to be happy and live off.
Yeah.
As long as you were white, he didn't.
Yeah, I was
mind
about to
what you
say,
did.
or not happy, but just sit on his porch and be cranky at minorities. God, got some good fiction. Oh, just quickly, this is only loosely related because Lovecraft loved Poe. The Pale Blue Eye is worth watching.
Oh, the Christian Bale thing. Yeah, okay. All
So
right.
Christian Bale plays a fictitious character that's loosely based on the character in Edgar Allan Poe's last poem.
Okay.
And they've extrapolated it into an entire murder mystery film. And Edgar Allan Poe, as a young man, is a character. And I don't
It's got
watch.
Gillian Anderson.
It does, yeah, and she's great. I don't watch the Harry Potter movies, but there's also a Harry Potter character in it, or an actor, I should say. It's not. It's not Dobby.
It's not one of the bank tellers, is it?
No, it's definitely not.
It's not Harry Potter just rocking up or Ron Weasley on a broomstick or something.
No.
Or Hermione.
That got dark quickly.
People
there
like
are,
it, don't they?
There are very, very few women in this. It's a murder mystery at a military academy. It's very good, excellent movie. Matt, you'll love it. Luke,
Yeah, okay.
don't know. Might
I'm
love
not
it,
gonna
might
like
hate
it.
No, Netflix has been showing me it. So,
Netflix knows what you like.
yeah, they do.
That should be their slogan. Netflix, we know what you like.
We know what you like. And we
We've-
know what you like.
we've
and
been
it's, and
watching
it's
you.
sharing your password with people.
Yeah,
and we're gonna
that's
shut
right,
that shit
that's-
down.
yeah, yeah.
So stop it.
You know what I like, and then you
And then we
cancel
can't-
it.
we know what
'Cause
you
a lot
like,
of shows I
and we cancel
watch.
Oh yeah, there's an article in here. I've not seen this show.
Mm.
It's got a similar name to the one I was talking about. Inside Job.
Mm.
And wasn't it?
They
It
just
was
renewed it
fun.
and then went, you know what? Nah, we're canceling it anyway.
I actually watched this. It's ridiculous. It's just a show about like a secret agency that deals in conspiracies, and that all conspiracies are real. and-
Okay, that sounds fun.
Yeah, it was a bit of fun. It's a cartoon.
I thought I was going to get through an entire episode without mentioning JFK, but now that you brought it up,
Definitely in it.
is
I
it?
just thought this article was funny because it was like,
Who do they say does it? Do they say?
I can't remember.
The more I
look,
learn
it's a
about
fun
it,
thing.
the more I think Oswald probably did it.
he's back
But
on.
there's just
he's
no
back on this.
conspiracy.
Yeah, I
this
know.
one, man.
No, but I don't know.
Oh.
What's more likely, that it's this huge conspiracy or that someone was just a fuckwit?
It's always the latter.
Correct. Well, it was like when we had that siege, that hostage situation in Sydney a couple of years ago.
Yeah, the Lint
And
Cafe.
everyone was like, yes, he's a Muslim, but mostly he's just a fuckwit.
Mm-hmm.
I think he tried to say he was up to something, and then they were like, "No, we don't know who that is."
Yeah.
That
Yeah,
they
he was
being,
asking for
they
the-
being
like the-
you know who.
he was
I'm
asking
not
for,
gonna
like,
say
the-
it.
Yes.
The flag and stuff.
Yeah, and then everyone was
but
like,
they were
"No."
just no. He was just a lone wolf. He
Yeah,
was
he's
just
just-
yeah.
Yeah.
disgruntled idiot.
But the thing with the JFK
He
is
didn't even
like,
have the flag. So
there's only one version of the conspiracy warrants a cover up. Like, yes, if it was the CIA, if it was the American government
Sure.
that does it, fine. If it was the KGB, the American government would fucking tell you that. If it was the Cubans, they would tell you that. If it was the mob, they would tell you that. Why?
Yeah. Why are they lying about it?
Yeah.
It's just yeah.
stay away from conspiracies. They're bad.
There is somebody
And
has
don't watch
done-
Inside Job because they've cancelled it.
Yeah, forget it. Even though
You don't
they
get to
teased
see
you
what
and said they
happens.
weren't going to cancel it.
It's so weird for him to actually come out and go, yes, this is renewed. And so
Unfortunately, it's
people
not
start
weird.
working on it.
That's what pisses
and then
me off.
They
But
go,
yeah.
no, it's not.
Just goes to show you're never safe if you're on Netflix.
Mm.
But they still wouldn't. They'd still get paid for the stuff that they started working on for season 2, would they not? Because you'd be able to go like, you said we're renewed, so we've started working on it. So you give us money.
That's
now."
it's, Henry Cavill said that to
Mm-hmm.
James Gunn. I
But
think.
also-
I've just started working on me.
Yeah, I've been working out.
I think that's fair as well.
Mm. Oh, they would have had to
He-
pay
he
him
had to
for
have got
sure.
paid
yeah.
off.
You got to
little
pay for these pecs.
Yeah.
And for me, not growing a mo,
This chiseled jaw.
been shaving all this time,
Yeah.
ready.
I think he looks good with a mo. I'm still holding out hope that one day they'll leak a
You're like
picture
Mission
of.
Impossible.
Yeah,
Henry Cavill.
I love that.
He was good in
movie.
that. No, he was good
He
in that.
was excellent in it. The mustache looked great, and I also think somewhere there's footage of him in the Superman suit with the mustache on it, and I want to see that.
there is.
One day we'll get to see it. I'm glad that he didn't shave it off.
Same. Well, he would have, I reckon. He would have just put a fake mustache on, but whoever Warner or whoever owns were like,
Tom
it's not
Cruise
our problem,
said,
mate.
Fuck you.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Because that
weren't
fucking
they
video
even
of the
saying- they
stunt
were
from
saying,
the
like,
new,
it was
the new
cheaper
Mission
to put it-
Impossible.
Sorry?
Jesus Christ! That video of Tom Cruise doing the stunt in the new, where he literally rides a bike off a fucking
Yeah,
cliff like 17 times or something.
yeah.
No, they do all the big build up. He has to do training for like months and months and months, and then he does it once, and you go great, and then he's like, all right, I got to do it again,
Mm-hmm.
and then he just keeps fucking doing it.
The insurance on those films
Yeah.
must be the biggest part of the budget. Imagine
Yeah.
insuring
And you can tell-
Tom Cruise, not just for a stunt, A, that you would normally get a stuntman to do anyway, but B, like the most ridiculous kinds of stunts.
Because
Yes.
the reason why they don't want actors to do it is just because, like, if something does go wrong, and even if they just get like a bruise
Yeah.
or a broken
It'll
arm,
ruin the
like,
movie.
even something that's not life threatening,
Yeah, movie's
it
fucked.
means they're out.
Yeah.
Well, he has broken his leg doing stuff.
Yes,
he broke
it's
his
on
leg on the
screen.
last one.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
But he just won't have a stuntman.
I mean, if something goes wrong during this, he's not. It's going to break more than the leg.
Yeah, yeah.
He's fucking dead. 'Cause-
Speaking of dead, we've got quite a few candidates for Geek of the Week.
Oh yeah,
Let's
we
go
should
over to
do
the
that.
after party and look at it. I won't say who they are now. Head over to Patreon if you're keen. I will just tease and say that one of them is, as far as we know, the only person who has been fucked by both Nicolas Cage and Michael Jackson.
That's all for this week. Thank you for listening and we hope you enjoyed the show. If you enjoyed it, then please subscribe in iTunes to receive episodes automatically. We'll see you next time.
It's Macaulay Culkin.